Welcome back to States with your boy. So here we go, folks. Today, as you can see, we're talking about sunflowers and how they relate to the great state of Kansas. Well, let's just get right into it. How did Kansas become a thing? So we're thinking back to the 13 colonies and we're like, that ain't part of the 13 colonies. Kansas was part of the Louisiana Purchase, folks. We got it from France. We got it for a cheap deal. They were in war. Thomas Jefferson, one of the best presidents ever. Thank goodness we wouldn't have Kansas without him. Yeah, so what's the capital of Kansas? I'm sure you all want to know. It's Topeka, folks. So yeah, get out to Topeka, check it out. The population's actually more than you'd expect. Well, actually, I don't know what you expect. But not talking about Topeka, but still talking about Kansas. The Wizard of Oz was filmed in Kansas. I don't know. There's a Wizard of Oz museum in Sedan, Kansas. Apparently, Sedan, Kansas is where sedans are made from. People can't tell I'm not sarcastic. That's a joke. I don't know where sedans are from. I think the Wizard of Oz has something to do with Kansas, though, so keep that in mind. Here in Kansas, we've got a variety of plants and geographical structures. Most people think that Kansas is flat. Somewhat true, but it actually rises from almost sea level to 2 mile high. It's not necessarily true that Kansas is flat. It actually rises like a treadmill that you've raised the elevation on. Apparently founded in 1854. We did acquire it in the Louisiana Purchase. It just wasn't deemed a state until 1854. The United States of America, folks. Go America. Moving along swiftly. It's America's agriculture capital of the world. The heartland, if you will. There's a lot of cattle going around in Texas. Number 2 for cattle is Kansas. And something else I want to bring up while we're on the Kansas topic. It's about 400 miles long and 200 miles wide. Windiest place. Okay, so there are windier places in the United States, but the windiest place, Dodge City, Kansas. Population 27,000. The history in Dodge is really climactic. It's basically known as being the lawless city in the West. Have you ever heard that term? Let's get out of Dodge. Like, get in your truck and get out of Dodge. You ever heard that? That basically meant that there's danger. Dodge City was pretty dangerous. A lot of gunfights. Dodge City, pretty windy. Windier than Chicago, if you will. If we're going to talk about Kansas, we've got to talk about basketball. Apparently, it's the epicenter of basketball. Much like how football was created, basketball was also created at one point. And the fella who did that was James Naismith. Kansas is almost always near the top or on the top. James Naismith, the guy who created basketball, he had a losing record at the University of Kansas. So he ain't that good, apparently. But thanks for creating the sport. Finally, we're going to talk about gorillas. Pittsburgh State University. If you're in Joplin, you probably heard of it. Signing off.